In this video, I would like to walk you through the different types of money available to you if you are densifying a site from residential to multi-family commercial. I've been seeing investors buy properties in Toronto, and these properties are residential properties. So the site may have a single family home on it or a duplex, and the investor's plan is to convert it to 5 or more units. So they're essentially crossing from residential to commercial. And here's the thing, if you're buying the property and you don't have drawings at hand and clarity around the construction budget, we obviously have to close on the site with residential financing because it's a residential property. That could be an A lender deal or an alternative lender or private in the extreme case, depending on the condition of the property. The key though is that we want to keep your options open so that when you're ready to build, we can pay off that loan and replace it with new construction money. Now, let's say that you've got your drawings in place, you know what your soft and hard construction costs are going to be. You've either developed in the past or you've figured out who is the developer that is going to work with you and they've got the relevant experience. Then in that case, we can actually structure the deal with commercial construction money. So let me walk you through the details. And there are two paths to commercial construction money, and there are pros and cons to each. So firstly, regardless of the type of money we get, we want to do an as-is appraisal of what the current property is worth, and we want to do an as-complete appraisal to assess what is it going to be worth once it's built, and what are the projected rents and expenses. And why do we want to do that? We want to do that because the first thing I start with is to look at your exit strategy. Once you build that 5 units or 6 units or 8 units, what type of mortgage will that property qualify for? And will that loan be large enough to pay out the money that you are getting upfront to build the site? So that is a very important question to ask. And many investors look at exit strategies with CMHC. We can exit with CMHC conventional financing, which can get you up to 85% of the CMHC value and up to a 40-year amortization. Or if we're building something that qualifies for the CMHC MLI product, we can exit under the CMHC MLI product with extended amortizations up to 50 years and up to 95% of the CMHC value. So we have to get very clear on what our exit looks like. And sometimes we have to exit into what's called a conventional loan and then go to CMHC. Again, everything is driven by the numbers, and that's what we want to validate for you and understand going into the deal. Now, when it comes to the type of money available to you, commercial money to build the site, one option is for you to take CMHC construction financing. And CMHC construction financing can go up to 95% of the loan to cost. What's 95% of the loan to cost? What's the loan to cost? Your total cost is the cost of the current site as well as your hard and soft costs. If you're to take CMHC construction financing, one of the things you need to be aware of is that CMHC will roll that loan into their long-term loans, whether it's a 5-year CMHC term or a 10-year CMHC term, upon completion of the project. Now, if you've taken, let's say, $3 million loan with CMHC upfront to build the site, that's what they're going to roll into the long-term loan on completion. I get the question from investors about what if you took $3 million, but you've now increased your NOI and the value above your initial estimates or expectations or the as complete appraisal that we've done, will you be able to actually tap into that upside if you've taken CMHC money up front? And the answer is we have to resubmit to CMHC to get an approval for that. But most of the time, they're really just rolling your upfront loan into a long-term loan. So that is the downside of CMHC financing, because if your project is going to be qualifying for a larger loan on exit, you don't want to cap your potential going into the deal using CMHC money. You may be better off taking a conventional loan, and once the project is done, we go to CMHC for the equity takeout. Mind you, CMHC is cheaper type of money, and that's why a lot of investors like to take that path, cheaper type of money and a higher loan to cost. One thing for you to remember is that although the program on paper says 95% loan to cost, at the end of the day, CMHC is going to think about the exit. They want to make sure that whatever you're building is going to qualify for a term loan with them when the work is done. So numbers game. If 95% loan to cost is $3 million, but we run the math and the property qualifies for a $2.5 million loan upon completion, guess what? CMHC is not going to give you that $3 million. They're going to give you the lower of the two. So we always need to understand our exit. Now that's path number one. Path number two is to take conventional financing. And here's how conventional financing works. The general rule of thumb is 75% of the as-is value of the current site and 75% of the construction costs. Now, this doesn't mean that we can't go to the lenders and ask for more money. If you've got good track record of building such units, or you've got a developer by your side who's building such units and we're showing good net worth and the lender likes the site, we have been able to push these numbers higher. We've been able to push the construction up to 100% of the construction cost, and in some cases push the as is to 80 or even a little bit more. And there are lenders that will allow you to set up a vendor take back second behind their loans or a second mortgage behind their loans to even reduce the amount of cash you're putting into the deal per se. And again, as long as we show the lender that you have enough money on exit to pay them out. So conventional financing, the benefit of conventional financing, it's a little bit more lenient than CMHC, and it moves faster, okay? The downside is that it's more expensive. These loans are typically interest-only loans at prime plus, okay? So prime today is at 5.45. It could be prime plus 2 or prime plus 3, depending again on the project. And when you take conventional financing, yes, you're paying a little bit more money. However, you're not capping your exit, because if you're building and your project is going to be worth more upon completion, and the net operating income supports a much higher loan amount than the money that you took up front, you will not cap your exit with CMHC. So these are the two paths of money. If you're taking a residential site, converting it over to a multifamily, really at the end of the day, guys, it's all about making sure that we plan ahead of time, we validate the assumptions, and we think about the worst case scenario, like what if your construction takes longer? What are we going to do? What if things cost you more? What does that look like? Also, creative financing is an option. So in many deals, we augment traditional with creative. Let's run the numbers. Let's take a look at your project, help you plan it properly, and help you utilize the best money structure and cost of money to get it done. You can email us at info@streetwisemortgages.com.